Chapter 3458. Wind Lotus Elder. Lin Moyu said,
To be honest with you, Elder, behind this cliff is the core area of Rift Wind Cliff.
Wind Lotus Elder asked.
Young friend wants to go to the core area?
Lin Moyu nodded.
I was entrusted to do something there.
Wind Lotus Elder unconsciously lowered his voice.
The core area is the Wu family's forbidden ground. If the Wu family finds out, they will surely pursue and kill you with all their might.
Lin Moyu smiled.
I have my ways. The Wu family won't know.
The implication was that as long as Wind Lotus Elder didn't tell anyone, the Wu family wouldn't know. Wind Lotus Elder nodded.
Then go ahead. Wind will keep his promise. If there's any trouble, Wind will help young friend resolve it.
Lin Moyu said.
Then I'll trouble Elder.
Saying this, Lin Moyu walked into the doorway. After Lin Moyu entered, the doorway disappeared. Wind Lotus Elder then looked behind him.
Will you kill yourself, or should Wind do it?
As his words fell, a streak of light shot out, flying towards the distance. Wind Lotus Elder chuckled.
You can't escape from Wind.
He grasped with his hand, and fierce winds arose. The light streak hadn't flown far before it was wrapped in powerful wind force and blown back. A fifth-level Dao Venerable looked at Wind Lotus Elder with terror on his face.
Elder, spare me. This junior swears never to speak of what I just heard.
Wind Lotus Elder shook his head.
Wind promised young friend Lin to handle any subsequent troubles. Wind always keeps his word. You can only blame your curiosity. If you hadn't stopped earlier, you wouldn't have met this calamity. Remember, in your next life, not everything can be listened to.
Boom! The fierce wind exploded, blasting him into powder, then scattering him to the winds, leaving no trace. Wind Lotus Elder said softly,
Only the dead won't talk out of turn.
Earlier, both Lin Moyu and Wind Lotus Elder had noticed this person, which is why Wind Lotus Elder said he would handle other troubles. Lin Moyu had also understood Wind Lotus Elder's words, which is why he entered the cliff. Wind Lotus Elder didn't go back on his word, directly killing the person. However, if Lin Moyu heard him say that only the dead won't talk out of turn, he might laugh for quite a while. For Lin Moyu, the dead were the most honest. Lin Moyu passed through the divine rune formation and entered the core area that the Wu family had monopolized for countless years. The wind here became different, no longer so fierce, but more dangerous. The power of the Great Tao was infused into the wind, giving it various attributes. The Wind Great Tao was a general term, and also the source Great Tao of all wind system Great Taos. Below it were countless branches, forming various different wind system Great Taos. The wind coming head-on invaded his body, corroding flesh and bones. Lin Moyu said softly,
Bone-corroding wind.
With a shake of his blood essence, all the bone-corroding wind was expelled. Then he surveyed the core area. In his view were still cliffs and precipices, intertwining to form canyons, spread across the land like a spider's web. Besides canyons, there were countless caves and even underground rivers. Wu family members like Wu Xingchen, after entering the core area, would search for caves in the canyons. The caves in the canyons were interconnected, and the paths inside were constantly changing. Even entering the same cave at different times would lead to completely different situations and places. Here, there was no so-called correct path. Everything depended on luck and real-time judgment. Wu family members had protective jade pendants and mostly wouldn't encounter danger. But Lin Moyu wasn't a Wu family member and didn't have a protective jade pendant, so he had to be extremely careful.
According to Wu Xingguang, which cave you enter isn't important, nor is where you enter from. What's important is how you walk after entering the cave. Basically, all the caves here are connected. Every fork in the road, every choice in the caves, will affect the final outcome. The caves are an enormous, constantly changing maze.
Lin Moyu pondered Wu Xingguang's words while looking at the sky. There was a formation covering the sky, but the formation had changed. It no longer calculated time like in the peripheral area. This was a place exclusively for Wu family members, so there was no need to calculate time. Lin Moyu walked a distance against the bone-corroding wind. After turning a corner, the wind suddenly changed. The wind became scorching hot, producing a burning sensation.
It's turned into soul-scorching wind.
Lin Moyu chuckled. The bone-corroding wind corroded the physical body, while the soul-scorching wind attacked the soul. Facing these two types of wind, Tao venerables below the fourth level needed special treasures to resist. Those below the fourth level of Tao Venerable would be seriously injured upon contact. Lin Moyu, however, ignored them. His blood essence vibrated, resisting all attacks. He had originally thought of using these two types of wind to temper his physical body, but Lin Moyu discovered that the wind contained the will of powerful beings. It wasn't pure great Tao power and couldn't be used to temper the physical body. This also made him vigilant. The masters who blew these two types of wind might be dead. Even if they were dead, there must be lingering will remaining. Advancing along the canyon, after 2 turns, the soul-scorching wind changed again, becoming more powerful in wind. In wind could freeze soul and body, comparable to some powerful ice great Taoists, and also had cursing effects. Lin Moyu still ignored the in wind. He finally saw a cave. The cave was dark. Lin Moyu quickly walked in. The moment he stepped into the cave, the fierce wind disappeared. Outside the cave, fierce winds howled, but inside there was no wind at all. The seemingly windless cave was actually more dangerous. In the cave existed a special kind of being that the Wu family called wind spirits. The occasional casualties when Wu family members entered the core area came from these wind spirits. The Wu family had protective jade pendants. Most of the time, wind spirits wouldn't actively attack those with pendants. But occasionally wind spirits would go berserk. When berserk, wind spirits would ignore the pendants. At these times, some unlucky Wu family members would be attacked, injured, or even killed. After entering the cave, Lin Moyu walked less than 10 meters before seeing a fork in the road with 4 paths, not knowing which was correct. For others, this would be a difficult choice, but it wasn't a problem for Lin Moyu.
It's been a long time since I've explored a map. A maze quite interesting.
With a thought, space distorted and a large number of skeleton generals flew out, quickly diving into the 4 paths to explore. Earlier in the peripheral area, to avoid attracting the attention of Wu family members, Lin Moyu hadn't used skeleton generals to find the way. Now he had no such concerns and could act freely. Without moving at all, a map was rapidly forming in his mind. Not knowing how deep the cave was or how many forks there were, to explore thoroughly, Lin Moyu continuously sent out skeleton generals, releasing several million in total. No matter what kind of maze it was, Lin Moyu planned to use the skeleton sea tactic to explore it completely. At the same time, he wanted to see if he could find the wind opening the 3 ancestors mentioned. It had been a long time since he'd done this. The feeling of clearing dungeons and breaking through secret realms from his memories surged up again. Lin Moyu examined the rapidly forming map, occasionally connecting to the skeleton general's vision to check the surrounding environment. Finally, a wind spirit appeared in view. The wind spirit had a weak soul flame, wrapped in eerie wind, falling onto a skeleton general. Chapter 3459. The Unkillable Wind Spirits. The wind spirits existed in a very peculiar way. They had a weak soul flame. Judging purely by the strength of the soul flame, wind spirits were very weak, even weaker than a heavenly venerable. But their bodies had no substance and could completely scatter into nothingness, somewhat similar to illusory-type power. When they scattered, even their soul flames could disperse, just like dissipating after death. But the next moment they could gather again. Between gathering and scattering, the wind spirit silently attached itself to the skeleton general. In an instant, terrible winds surged from the skeleton general's body. Every corner, every inch of bone on the skeleton general was blown by wind. The skeleton general's soul flame flickered chaotically in the wind, then quickly extinguished and died. A 6th-level Tao venerable skeleton general died silently like this. After its death, even its solid body was rapidly corroded, leaving not even a speck behind. No remains were left. This skeleton general had truly died permanently. Even the undead nature lost its effect at this moment. After its death, that wind spirit appeared again, unchanged from before. Its soul flame was still as weak, looking as if any heavenly venerable would be much stronger than it. Lin Moyu's vision was connected to this skeleton general, witnessing the entire process.
So this is a wind spirit? Killing a 6th level Dao Venerable Skeleton General was actually so easy. No wonder those Dao Venerables of the Wu family would die at its hands. It's indeed a bit strange, but also interesting. Let's try again.
He had nearby skeleton generals rush over. From afar, before the wind spirit could launch an attack, the skeleton general struck first. White sword energy flashed through the cave, instantly tearing the wind spirit apart. Facing the skeleton general's attack, it seemed to have no ability to fight back at all. But the next second, this torn-apart wind spirit gathered together again, flying towards the skeleton general. During its flight, it constantly scattered and gathered, changing between scattering and gathering, giving the feeling of teleportation. Lin Moyu ordered the skeleton general to dodge. The skeleton general quickly retreated along the narrow passage towards other areas. The skeleton general retreated very fast. The wind spirit wasn't as fast as the skeleton general and couldn't catch up no matter what. After chasing for a while, the wind spirit suddenly stopped, no longer pursuing. Not only did it stop chasing, but the wind spirit also returned the way it came, back to where it first appeared. Lin Moyu had the skeleton general attack the wind spirit again, scattering it a second time. The wind spirit chased again. The skeleton general continued to retreat. At the same spot as last time, the wind spirit stopped again, then returned to its own territory. At this point, the skeleton general quickly caught up, attacking again before it could return. The wind spirit chased again, but when it reached the same spot as before, it suddenly stopped, then flew back towards its initial location. After this experiment, Lin Moyu figured out the wind spirit's movement pattern. The wind spirit's range of action was actually limited. Usually, it just stayed in its own territory, not going anywhere. Even when chasing someone, it wouldn't go beyond a 1,000-meter distance. Once it reached 1,000 meters, the wind spirit would return, even if attacked midway. It still wouldn't go beyond 1,000 meters from its territory.
The wind spirits seem to have their own rules. Who set these rules for the wind spirits? Strictly speaking, wind spirits are not living beings. Although they have soul flames, they don't have any consciousness, only some simple instincts. The only trouble is how to kill them. Ordinary attacks are ineffective, and the soul flame can freely gather and scatter. So let's try a soul attack.
To use a soul attack, there were two methods. One was for Lin Moyu to go personally and use Skeleton Hell, using the Hell's Eye to launch a soul attack. The other was the Skeleton King's White Bone Godslayer, which invoked the Bloody White Bone Great Tao and could launch a dual attack on both body and soul. Lin Moyu had a thought, and a Skeleton King appeared beside him. The cave was too small. Even shrunk to its smallest size, the Skeleton King still touched the ceiling and floor, finding it very difficult to even stand. With the Skeleton King's appearance, the Skeleton Generals immediately shared the White Bone Godslayer. A Skeleton General approached again, raising its bone sword. Technique: White Bone Godslayer. The Bloody White Bone Great Tao appeared. Following its attack, numerous small, white bone swords flew out, accompanied by a sword light, tearing apart the wind spirit. Unsurprisingly, the wind spirit was scattered, but the next second it returned to its original state.
Useless?
Lin Moyu was a bit surprised. The Skeleton General quickly retreated, escaping beyond 1,000 meters to avoid the wind spirit's chase. Even soul attacks were ineffective. Lin Moyu was getting a headache. At this point, the exploration of the cave had come to a standstill. The Skeleton Generals had explored over 10,000 routes, but wind spirits appeared on every route, blocking the Skeleton General's path. Even soul attacks were ineffective. Lin Moyu knew that relying on Skeleton Generals alone probably wouldn't work against these wind spirits. He had a thought, and more Skeleton Generals rushed over. Since you're blocking the way, I'll force my way through. Hundreds and thousands of skeleton generals charged towards the same path. Lin Moyu didn't believe that a few wind spirits could kill so many skeleton generals. The appearance of the skeleton generals attracted the wind spirits' attention, and they immediately pounced to kill. The skeleton general possessed by a wind spirit quickly fell into mortal danger. Lin Moyu had a thought, and that skeleton general voluntarily died, its body automatically crumbling. Seeing the skeleton general die, the wind spirit didn't continue to possess it, but pounced towards another. The just-deceased skeleton general took this moment to revive and then continued forward.
It really works.
Lin Moyu laughed inwardly. The wind spirits had no intelligence, so he used suicide to trick them. The skeleton generals might not be able to kill the wind spirits, but in front of suicidal skeleton generals, the wind spirits were also run ragged. This was the disadvantage of having no intelligence. As long as there was no intelligence, there were many ways to deal with them. The key was that Lin Moyu currently didn't want to risk himself. At least before the map was fully explored, he didn't want to go. Otherwise, if he used Skeleton Hell, Lin Moyu believed he could certainly solve these wind spirits. A vast number of skeleton generals broke through the wind spirits' territory, continuing to explore the cave. The caves in Rift Wind Cliff were incredibly complex, with countless forks, twists and turns, and most were dead ends. As they went deeper, Lin Moyu found that the wind spirits were getting stronger and gradually increasing in number. Stronger wind spirits had more corrosive power. Once a skeleton general was possessed, it wouldn't last even a second. Finally, a skeleton general rushed into a relatively spacious cavern. A treasure entered its vision, along with dozens of wind spirits. This skeleton general was quickly possessed by a wind spirit and subsequently died. The skeleton general's vision was quite peculiar and couldn't see too many details. To see clearly, Lin Moyu would have to go personally.
The first treasure. If Wu family members find this place, this treasure would be their gain. But for me, this treasure doesn't mean much.
Lin Moyu knew his purpose for coming here. First was for the Hell Fragment. Second was to help the three ancestors find the wind opening. A treasure wasn't something Lin Moyu cared about. One cavern after another was found, most containing treasures. The only problem was that the number of wind spirits was also very high, ranging from dozens to hundreds. These weren't what Lin Moyu wanted. He needed to find the truly correct path. Chapter 3460. Rift Wind Cliff came from the outer realm. Lin Moyu was very patient. He could send out more skeleton generals, and he wouldn't move at all until he found the correct path. More and more caverns were discovered. According to the map forming in his mind, Lin Moyu felt increasingly that something wasn't right.
These caverns seem like dead ends, but looking at their distribution, it looks like a formation. And the entire Rift Wind Cliff looks more like a fortress. Outside the caverns are carved prehistoric characters, meaning 68. What does this 68 mean?
Lin Moyu searched in his mind for all information related to Rift Wind Cliff. At the same time, in his rule world, his avatar beside the human emperor said,
Human Emperor, help me analyze the possible origins of Rift Wind Cliff.
As his cultivation level increased, his thinking speed had become astonishingly fast. He could understand most problems with just a casual thought, and he rarely troubled the human emperor anymore. But now, he felt that the existence of Rift Wind Cliff was unusual. The human emperor received Lin Moyu's request and immediately began analyzing. Lin Moyu always maintained information sharing with the human emperor. All information Lin Moyu knew would be conveyed to the human emperor through his avatar. The human emperor had already built an incredibly amazing database internally, with very strong analytical capabilities. After a round of analysis, the human emperor quickly came to a conclusion. Lin Moyu also reached an answer through self-reflection at about the same time. Rift Wind Cliff was not a product originally possessed by the Origin Continent. If it wasn't originally possessed by the Origin Continent, then there was only one possibility: Rift Wind Cliff fell from the sky. During the Great Battle of the Origin Catastrophe, battlefields were spread throughout the entire world. There were battlefields in the origin continent and also in the outer Great Tao. Even now, in the layers of special space between the origin continent and the outer Great Tao, there were still many remnants from the outer realm. If an outer realm relic fell down back then, crashing into the origin continent, it would actually be quite normal. Rift Wind Cliff looked like a war fortress, its strength no less than 9 Heavens Peak. If it were a war fortress from the origin continent, then Dongfang Duantian would definitely know about it, and there would be records of it in the history of the origin continent, just like 9 Heavens Peak. But there were no records of it at all, which could only mean it wasn't something that should be on the origin continent. Moreover, the time it fell should have been after the origin catastrophe, but not too long after. It should have fallen during the gap period after the catastrophe. The answers from the Human Emperor and Lin Moyu were surprisingly consistent. Although no one could be 100% certain, it was basically confirmed. Lin Moyu muttered to himself,
"Looking at it this way, the treasures in these caverns were the source of power for this fortress back then. Using the power of treasures to drive the war fortress, then using formations for amplification, and finally controlled by a powerful being, the combat power of this war fortress must have been terrifyingly strong. But how did the Wu family obtain the treasures from such a war fortress? Could it be?"
All paths leading to the caverns were blocked by wind spirits. Normally, the Wu family's ancestors shouldn't have been able to enter and obtain the treasures. But they did obtain them, not only getting the treasures but also receiving powerful inheritances, ultimately allowing the Wu family to develop and grow strong. So there was only one other possibility. Someone allowed the Wu family to obtain the treasures and also gave them inheritances. Such a person would either be a great Tao realm being who survived the origin catastrophe, or a powerful treasure from this war fortress that developed a spirit and gained consciousness. The reason for thinking this was precisely because of the heaven-seeking seal.
"I basically figured it out. Now I just need to wait for the answer to be revealed."
After understanding the cause and effect, Lin Moyu's entire being became transparent, his thoughts clear, feeling very comfortable. Solving mysteries was a very fun thing. Every time an unknown mystery was solved, it was like clearing an extremely difficult dungeon in the past, giving an indescribable sense of achievement. Thousands of caverns of various sizes had been found. Following the shape formed by these caverns, plus Lin Moyu's understanding of formations, he already knew how to walk the final path. Lin Moyu, who had been standing for most of the day, finally started moving. With the map guiding him, Lin Moyu wouldn't take the wrong path and moved very quickly. His first stop was one of the caverns. According to his understanding of formations, he needed to go to these caverns first and take away all the treasures. Without the treasures, the power of the entire formation would weaken. In the end, whether facing a great Tao realm being who survived from prehistoric times or the heaven-seeking seal, if they wanted to harm him, it would be easier for him to deal with. After walking for a while, Lin Moyu encountered the first wind spirit guarding the path. He pointed his finger.
"Skeleton hell."
If ordinary attacks and soul attacks were ineffective against wind spirits, then he would directly use skeleton hell. Hell fiends pounced on the wind spirit, tearing it into pieces in a few bites. The next second, the wind spirit began to gather again, reappearing. Lin Moyu keenly noticed that after regathering, the wind spirit was 3 parts weaker than before.
The wind spirit was damaged. Skeleton hell is effective.
Unlike the attacks of the skeleton generals earlier, which couldn't hurt the wind spirits at all. At least the hell fiends could hurt the wind spirits, devouring 3 parts of them while tearing them apart. After a few more times like this, the wind spirits would be killed. After regathering, the wind spirit immediately counterattacked. It possessed a hell fiend, which screamed and sank into the lava. The wind spirit immediately detached from its possessed state and regathered. The wind spirits looked formless and intangible, but they weren't truly so. In the lava, they had nowhere to hide. Skeleton hell could be said to perfectly counter the wind spirits. After quickly dealing with one wind spirit, Lin Moyu continued forward. His speed became faster and faster. One wind spirit after another was easily devoured by skeleton hell, unable to cause any trouble. As he personally went deeper, he gradually saw clearly the changes in the wind spirits. Power and number were just superficial. The real change was the aura contained within the wind spirits. As the wind spirits' power grew stronger, their great Tao aura became more and more obvious. The power of the wind spirits naturally came from the wind great Tao. They could be said to be aggregates of the wind great Tao. But within the wind spirits, there was another power that Lin Moyu was very familiar with: power from hell. The wind spirits were related to the hell fragment, so they had characteristics similar to hell fiends, able to devour all things. Compared to his own skeleton hell, the devouring power possessed by the wind spirits was more primitive and brutal.
This hell fragment seems to be quite large.
Lin Moyu thought to himself.
If the hell fragment has already evolved to a certain degree, then it might be troublesome.
He wasn't worried about other things. He was worried that if the hell fragment had developed self-awareness, that would be the real big trouble. It might be much more troublesome than a great Tao realm being surviving until now. He prepared for the worst, thinking of ways to deal with it, and unknowingly arrived in front of the first cavern. He saw the powerful treasure in the cavern, along with thousands of wind spirits. Skeleton hell automatically appeared, quickly clearing out the wind spirits. Lin Moyu stepped into the cavern, divine light flashing in his eyes as he examined the situation inside. One divine rune after another appeared from his eyes. Chapter 3461. Make the best use of everything. This is an opportunity. Lin Moyu admired the divine rune formation as if appreciating a work of art. The divine rune formation in this cave was just one node of the entire grand formation. As the saying goes, one can see the whole leopard by observing one of its spots. Through this formation node, one could see a lot of information. Most crucially, this formation currently had no master. Although it was still operating, its power was far less than before. The function of this formation was simple: to absorb power from heaven and earth and from the treasures, convert it, and send it to another point for convergence. One could imagine how much enormous energy could be sent out instantly when all the formations in the caves operated together. The treasures inside were all 7th level Tao venerable treasures. Add to that the power absorbed from heaven and earth, plus the operator's own power, amplified layer by layer through the formation. The combat power this fortress could ultimately exert was unimaginably strong. Lin Moyu felt the rhythm of power flow in the divine runes, simulating the entire formation's disassembly and reassembly in his mind. After confirming there were no problems, he began drawing divine runes. Just half a minute later, an extremely complex divine rune danced at his fingertip. This was the most complex divine rune Lin Moyu had ever drawn. Through repeated studies of divine rune formations, Lin Moyu's understanding of them was rising rapidly. Now he could use divine runes to set up some simple formations. Basically, formations below the 4th grade were no problem. With a bit more study, he could freely set up 4th and 5th grade formations. The reason he asked Lu Zeng for so many origin crystals this time was for setting up formations. He threw all these origin crystals to the Infinite Fusion Technique star, which hadn't been used for a long time. Now it was working hard to fuse the origin crystals. Setting up divine rune formations required a large number of origin crystals, and Lin Moyu wasn't interested in low-grade origin crystals. If he was going to use them, he'd use good ones. If Infinite Fusion wasn't still having difficulty fusing 9th grade origin crystals, Lin Moyu would definitely use 9th grade origin crystals to set up formations. That way, the effect would definitely be better. Even 3rd grade formations could exert the effect of 4th grade formations. Lin Moyu flicked his finger, and the divine rune at his fingertip flew into the cave's divine rune formation. The cave immediately emitted rumbling sounds. This continued for half a minute before everything returned to calm. From this moment on, the formation node in this cave had changed owners. This master had become Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu didn't take away the treasure. After modifying the formation, he turned and left. He had changed his mind. When he saw the formation, he thought of a better method. Rather than thinking about how to weaken the formation, it was better to use the formation for himself. Perhaps some unexpected things might happen then. So Lin Moyu kept entering one cave after another, changing the formations inside. In several caves, the treasures were already gone, with no signs of battle, indicating that the treasures had been taken away. The people who took away the treasures were undoubtedly from the Wu family, but this wasn't important. The number of treasures obtained by the Wu family wasn't that many. The skeleton generals had already explored all the caves. There were as many as 360 similar caves, with at least 300 of them having powerful treasures suppressing the formation eyes. The Wu family had obtained only a small fraction of these. Besides the caves, there were many scattered formation nodes in the entire complex maze of caverns, and those nodes also had treasures. However, those treasures weren't powerful. Many were already gone, and the treasures in the outer area of Rift Wind Cliff came from here. After exploring the caves, 90% of the entire map was completed. The 360 caves formed a large circle. The center of the circle was the center of the entire Rift Wind Cliff, which was also the wind opening mentioned by the three ancestors. The skeleton generals hadn't found the way in. Lin Moyu wasn't in a hurry. Through the formation, he already knew where the path was, but he wasn't in a hurry to go in. He kept modifying the formations in the caves, turning these formations into his own property. After busy work for a long time, all 360 formations were modified. Just waiting for Lin Moyu's will, these 360 formations would simultaneously serve Lin Moyu. After completing the formation modification, there was only one last step, refining the formation disk. Once the formation was controlled by himself, the power flowing through the formation would either be cut off or converge towards another place. Lin Moyu naturally didn't just want to cut off the power. He wanted to gather the power into his own hands. However, at this point, Lin Moyu encountered a problem. He didn't have such high-grade materials to bear the power converging from these formations. Ordinary Dao Venerable Realm materials definitely wouldn't work. The Icefire Dao Stone could work, but he currently didn't have the ability to refine it. The Misfortune Skull was in the same situation. After much thought, Lin Moyu thought of the Cloud-Piercing Sword. The previous owner of the Cloud-Piercing Sword had once reached the Great Dao Realm, and the Cloud-Piercing Sword had thus received the baptism of the Great Dao, gaining some characteristics of the Great Dao Realm. Although its owner was very unlucky, and the Cloud-Piercing Sword didn't truly become a Great Dao Realm treasure, and was even injured, dropping to the 7th level of Dao Venerable. But its essence was still there. It was still the strongest treasure Lin Moyu could use. Most crucially, the Cloud-Piercing Sword had a spirit which could help him control the power.
Perhaps, for the Cloud-Piercing Sword, this is an opportunity.
Once the enormous power converges, it might help the Cloud-Piercing Sword recover. Lin Moyu took out the Cloud-Piercing Sword and summoned the Big Head Spirit, explaining his idea.
Big Head, do you have any problems with this?
The Big Head Spirit was very obedient.
I have no problem. You just do it.
Lin Moyu nodded.
If the power becomes too strong later, you can release it. Don't force yourself.
The Big Head Spirit made an affirmative sound.
Don't worry, Master. Big Head understands.
Lin Moyu used his soul power to fuse premium 8th grade origin crystals as ink and began drawing divine runes. One divine rune after another flew into the Cloud-Piercing Sword, forming a formation on its surface. The formation connected with the formations in the caves through Lin Moyu. When the time came, the Cloud-Piercing Sword would bear unimaginable power. Whether the Cloud-Piercing Sword could be reborn under this enormous power would depend on its own fortune. After doing all this, Lin Moyu came to a special position. This position was one of the connection points of the 360 caves. The caves were like a spider web with many connection points between them. This was one of them. There was also a divine rune formation here which could lead to the true core area. In prehistoric times, the cultivators of that era had evolved divine rune formations to the extreme, almost able to accomplish various things with formations. Seeing clearly the formation's veins, Lin Moyu used divine runes as a key to open a passage. The moment the passage opened, an enormous aura rushed towards him. This aura contained dense power of the Wind Great Dao. Various Wind Great Dao powers fused together, corroding bones and scorching souls. If another 5th level Dao Venerable were blown by this aura, they would be skinned if not killed. Lin Moyu stood there motionless. He felt the power of hell from the aura.
It's indeed inside.
A smile appeared on his face. Then he rushed into the passage. Chapter 3462. Great Tao Realm Usurping the Nest. The aura in the passage was chaotic, with various powers from Wind System Great Das intertwining, turning the entire passage into a complex and terrifying environment. Even a 7th-level elder would be injured if not careful. Lin Moyu used the Undying Golden Body for protection. The power of death weakened attacks from the outside, while the power of life enhanced the toughness of the Undying Golden Body. His blood essence roared continuously. He moved rapidly through the passage, trying to get out as quickly as possible. Flames suddenly appeared before his eyes, and monsters pounced towards him from within the firelight.
Get lost!
Lin Moyu shouted lowly, throwing out a punch. The monsters were sent flying but didn't die, coming back again. Their power seemed weak, but they weren't easy to kill. The monsters opened their blood-red mouths, which were filled with raging flames and sharp fangs. This was very similar to hell fiends. The fangs seemed able to devour everything, tearing any worldly object to pieces. Lin Moyu knew these monsters came from the hell fragment. He punched them back again, thinking to himself,
It seems the hell fragment has started to evolve on its own. I wonder what it will evolve into.
Repeatedly punching them back, Lin Moyu accelerated forward, leaving them behind. Finding the exit at the fastest speed, Lin Moyu immediately rushed out. Just as he reached the exit, a bright light suddenly struck him. Lin Moyu felt as if he had been heavily punched, and was sent flying on the spot. This attack was too fast, giving no time to react. Then one strong light after another came, instantly thousands of them, like thousands of fists continuously pounding on Lin Moyu. Wherever Lin Moyu retreated to, it would strike there, incredibly accurate, giving Lin Moyu no time to react. Lin Moyu was forcibly knocked back into the passage. After returning to the passage, the attack stopped, allowing Lin Moyu to catch his breath temporarily. After stabilizing, Lin Moyu's blood essence circulated. Although he wasn't injured, he looked somewhat disheveled. The series of attacks just now came too suddenly. Fortunately, the power wasn't particularly strong, roughly between the 8th and 9th levels of Tao Venerable.
Who exactly is attacking?
The whole process happened too quickly for Lin Moyu to see clearly who the opponent was. With a thought, skeleton hell enveloped his entire body as he flew out of the passage again. As soon as he left the passage, a beam of light came straight at him. The enormous power once again knocked him back into the passage. The opponent was clearly determined not to let him leave the passage.
Don't want me to leave? Then let's see if you can manage it.
He took out a corpse. This was a 7th-level Tao Venerable corpse, and it was plant-based, obtained from the 100 Herbs Alliance earlier. A plant-based 7th-level Tao Venerable had incredibly strong life force. Using it for corpse explosion would increase the power even further. Lin Moyu felt this wasn't enough, so he also used a drop of ancestor water, plus the power of belief. With these three combined, this corpse explosion could severely injure an 8th-level Tao Venerable. Skeleton Hell had endured one attack from the opponent, completing the soul lock. Lin Moyu didn't need to see it to use corpse explosion. Arriving at the exit, just half a step away from leaving the passage, Lin Moyu activated corpse explosion.
Corpse explosion!
The moment the corpse in his hand turned to dust, Lin Moyu rushed out of the passage at top speed. This time he wasn't attacked again. Lin Moyu had a thought, and space distorted dramatically. Skeleton Hell appeared all around. Lin Moyu changed the target from himself to countless others. Then the light appeared again. Corpse explosion could only delay it for a short time. One beam after another came crashing in, killing large numbers of skeleton generals, who then revived again. Lin Moyu took this opportunity to finally see the opponent's appearance clearly. It was a monster glowing all over, standing in a sea of fire, with 10 arms growing from its back. Each arm held a small square seal, and the light was shooting out from these seals.
Heaven-seeking seal?
The moment Lin Moyu saw the square seals, He immediately thought of the heaven-seeking seal. But there was only one heaven-seeking seal, while the opponent had 10, and the heaven-seeking seal couldn't be this small. Lin Moyu judged that either these weren't the heaven-seeking seal, or they were avatars of the heaven-seeking seal. The appearance of treasure avatars meant the treasure had developed a spirit, and not an ordinary one at that. The sea of fire this monster stood in was equally troublesome. The sea of fire was transformed from the hell fragment, providing the monster with endless power. And the monster itself emitted an aura of the Wind Great Tao.
Wind Great Tao, heaven-seeking seal, hell fragment. This guy is simply a fusion. Unfortunately, the fusion isn't complete. Not worth fearing.
The monster's own aura was only at the 7th level of Tao Venerable, not very strong. Lin Moyu had a thought, and more skeleton generals appeared, surging towards the monster. At the same time, Su Pu, Wu Bingchuan, and Wu Juan mixed among them, rushing over together. Under the cover of the skeleton generals, the three successfully approached the monster and then attacked fiercely. Wu Bingchuan and Wu Jiuan attacked simultaneously. The monster reacted extremely quickly, the square seals in its 10 hands instantly launching attacks at the two, forcibly knocking them back. Sword light exploded, and Su Pu seized the opportunity to strike. Within the sword light, the monster's 10 arms were simultaneously cut off, followed by its body being sliced to pieces. As the monster's body collapsed, the square seals in its hands turned to smoke and disappeared. Even the sea of fire under its feet quickly receded.
Chase.
With a thought from Lin Moyu, the skeleton generals immediately chased in the direction the sea of fire was retreating. The sea of fire was transformed from the hell fragment. The direction it retreated in was the direction where the hell fragment was located. The sea of fire retreated very quickly, but fortunately the skeleton generals were also fast and could keep up. Lin Moyu followed at the back. After following for a distance, the sea of fire suddenly stopped. Firelight illuminated the entire space, and fireballs like meteors crashed down from above. Lin Moyu had a thought, and all the skeleton generals quickly scattered. At the same time, he summoned a legion commander and handed over command to it. The time-cursed wings appeared, constantly vibrating as Lin Moyu traversed through the meteor shower. While dodging, Lin Moyu surveyed the sky. In the sky was a sea of fire, falling like a waterfall. Countless streams of lava poured down, forming another sea of fire below. Between the two seas of fire in heaven and earth, pillars formed from streams of lava connected them. A dazzling square seal, 10 meters tall, was floating in the sea of fire. On top of the seal was a throne, with a man sitting on it, looking at Lin Moyu with cold eyes. The man emitted an aura of the Great Tao Realm.
Did a Great Tao Realm being really survive?
Lin Moyu immediately negated his own thought. The Great Tao Realm being hadn't survived. This Great Tao Realm being was already dead, with only the physical body preserved. The spirit of the heaven-seeking seal had occupied this Great Tao Realm being's body, truly a case of usurping another's nest.
It seems this heaven-seeking seal wants to become a true living being, using the heaven-seeking seal's main body to suppress the hell fragment, attempting to manipulate the hell fragment, then occupying a Great Tao Realm strong body, using the power of the hell fragment to fuse the spirit with the physical body. Not a bad idea, quite interesting.
It had to be said that the heaven-seeking seal doing this did have some possibility of success. However, it was still missing many things, such as origin crystals containing the primordial power of heaven and earth. Chapter 3463. Not within destiny. The hell fragment had evolved into a double sea of fire above and below, two completely opposite forces. One poured down like a waterfall from above, while the other erupted like a volcano, frantically gushing upwards from below. Both forces ultimately fell on the heaven-seeking seal, as well as on the remnant physical body of that Great Tao Realm being. The spirit of the heaven-seeking seal was using this method to try to forcibly fuse itself into the Great Tao Realm physical body and become a true living being.
You're not from the Wu family.
A deep voice sounded, carrying a hint of resentment and even a trace of evil. Lin Moyu said,
Whether I'm from the Wu family or not, does it matter?
The heaven-seeking seal said.
You're not from the Wu family, so how were you able to come here?
Lin Moyu smiled.
That question is rather unnecessary.
He was already here, so asking why he could come had no meaning. Lin Moyu felt that this spirit didn't seem very intelligent. Now that he was here, Lin Moyu wasn't in a hurry. He examined the heaven-seeking seal, trying to see clearly its fusion with the great Tao realm physical body. Activating the undead eye, Lin Moyu felt some surprise in his heart.
It actually managed to do it, but what a pity.
Within the great Tao realm physical body, 2 soul flames were flickering. One soul flame came from the heaven-seeking seal, indicating it had already developed a soul. Once it had a soul, it wasn't far from becoming a true living being. However, the way the heaven-seeking seal's soul had developed was clearly not right. Its soul flame was somewhat incomplete, not whole. Back then, Little Mist had also used this method to reincarnate as a true living being. This method indeed worked. But Little Mist's situation was different from the heaven-seeking seals. At that time, Little Mist had Lin Moyu's help, and the physical body Little Mist chose was very weak. But the physical body the heaven-seeking seal chose was at the great Tao realm very powerful. Trying to usurp such a nest was much more difficult. Most crucially, within this great Tao realm physical body, there was still another soul flame. This soul flame was also incomplete, but it belonged to the great Tao realm powerhouse himself, having home field advantage. The two had engaged in a contest that had lasted for countless years, with neither willing to give in. Under the pressure from the Hell Fragment, the current great Tao realm being and the heaven-seeking seal had almost fused together, both somewhat difficult to separate. If allowed to continue evolving like this, after several million or tens of millions of years, the 2 souls might fuse together. At that time, this great Tao realm powerhouse could revive holding the heaven-seeking seal. If he could also gain control of the Hell Fragment, his power could become even stronger, possibly surpassing his former self. As for who would be the dominant consciousness of this physical body at that time, it was hard to say. In just a few seconds, Lin Moyu understood a great deal. During these few seconds, the heaven-seeking seal didn't speak. It seemed to be examining Lin Moyu as well. After several seconds, its deep voice sounded again.
I sense the aura of hell from you. You've come for the Hell Fragment.
Lin Moyu chuckled.
Half correct. Actually, I'm quite interested in you too. You're called the Heaven-Seeking Seal. Does that mean seeking heavenly secrets?
The heaven-seeking seal didn't speak. Lin Moyu continued.
You can seek heavenly secrets, so you should be a treasure belonging to the Destiny Great Tao, right? But at the beginning of the origin catastrophe, the Destiny Great Tao had already shattered. You should have been asleep. That means you must have awakened within the last few million years. Am I right?
The heaven-seeking seal said in a low voice.
It seems you know a lot. Where did you get this information? Even the Wu family ancestors don't know these things. How did you come to know them?
Lin Moyu shook his head.
That's not important. What's important is what I want to do here. You shouldn't be thinking about those unimportant details.
The heaven-seeking seal said.
I don't like your way of speaking.
The spirit really wasn't very intelligent. It might also be because it hadn't communicated with anyone for too long. Lin Moyu said.
Whether you like it or not isn't important. This time I've come not only to take away the Hell Fragment, but also to take you along. Now that the Destiny Great Tao has partially recovered, you can be of use.
The heaven-seeking seal snorted coldly.
You? A mere 5th level Tao Venerable? Do you know what level of existence I am?
Lin Moyu shook his head.
That's still not important. The fact that I could walk to this place should tell you that realm doesn't mean everything. Besides, you're just a great Tao realm treasure. I've killed great Tao realm beings before. You've failed to successfully usurp this nest. Let's separate you first.
As his words fell, Su Pu had already charged over with the cloud-piercing sword. The heaven-seeking seal snorted coldly.
Seeking death.
The sea of fire boiled. Endless flames surged from above and below simultaneously. turning into fire dragons rushing towards Su Pu. Su Pu swung the cloud-piercing sword. In an instant, millions of sword lights flashed, slashing all the fire dragons. Lin Moyu murmured softly,
It seems it has mastered part of the hell fragment. This guy is quite ambitious, wanting to have it all. The heaven-seeking seal is indeed a treasure of the destiny Great Tao, but it seems it can only see others' destinies, not its own.
Su Pu and the fire dragons were evenly matched, seemingly unable to overcome each other. Lin Moyu smiled.
It seems you can't see your own destiny. Why don't you try looking at my destiny?
The heaven-seeking seal could explore others' destinies, but couldn't explore its own. Truly a case of a doctor being unable to cure himself. The next second, Lin Moyu sensed strands of great Tao power falling on him. He knew the heaven-seeking seal had made its move. The heaven-seeking seal didn't speak, but directly used the destiny Great Tao. It first looked at destiny, then searched for weaknesses within destiny to attack. Lin Moyu didn't know how far it could see in the destiny Great Tao. Like the Buddhist realm Lich and the destiny Lich, although they could search for weaknesses in the destiny Great Tao, the time was limited. They couldn't see too far, only within the near future. As for the heaven-seeking seal, that was unknown. Suddenly, the heaven-seeking seal let out a scream. Lin Moyu felt the destiny Great Tao that had just fallen on him completely withdraw. The entire heaven-seeking seal was trembling.
Who are you? Who exactly are you?
Its voice was full of fear, as if it had seen something terrifying. Lin Moyu smiled.
What did you see?
The heaven-seeking seal shouted loudly.
Why aren't you in the destiny Great Tao? Why? Why? This is impossible. This is impossible.
Its voice grew louder and louder, almost frenzied. Listening to its words, Lin Moyu also frowned.
I'm not in the destiny Great Tao? Is that possible?
All living beings in heaven and earth, all things, from a speck of dust to a Great Tao realm powerhouse, were all within the destiny Great Tao. Even the entire origin continent, everything, should be reflected in the destiny Great Tao. The destiny Great Tao could detect the future. This was why at the beginning of the origin catastrophe, the first to be shattered was the destiny Great Tao. Yet he wasn't within the destiny Great Tao. This gave Lin Moyu an indescribable strange feeling. But the heaven-seeking seal's reaction didn't seem to be lying. Lin Moyu felt the heaven-seeking seal was about to go mad. Lin Moyu also couldn't figure it out no matter how much he thought about it. He simply gave up thinking.
Forget it. Let's deal with the main task first. Strike while the iron is hot.
Chapter 3464. Destiny Light Wheel, Erasing from the Destiny Great Tao. The current state of the heaven-seeking seal was very strange, almost frenzied. It seemed unable to accept the fact that Lin Moyu was not within the destiny Great Tao. Lin Moyu knew this was the nature of a spirit. Even if a spirit gained wisdom, it would still be restricted in certain ways. This situation would occur as long as it remained a spirit. Unless it could, like Little Mist, break free from its identity as a spirit and become a true living being, it wouldn't be free from these restrictions. The heaven-seeking seal clearly hadn't achieved this yet, no matter Lin Moyu planned to help it break free. With a thought, an illusory big head suddenly appeared on the cloud-piercing sword. The divine runes on the sword body flashed brightly. The formations in the 360 caves that Lin Moyu had previously arranged all began to operate simultaneously. Now these formations belonged entirely to Lin Moyu. As soon as the formations began operating, enormous power converged towards the cloud-piercing sword through the formation veins. Layer upon layer of power surged on the cloud-piercing sword. Su Pu's battle strength instantly increased greatly. Every bit of power he used could ultimately become 10 or 100 times stronger. The few fire dragons entangled in battle were slain in 2 or 3 moves. The cloud-piercing sword killed its way to the heaven-seeking seal's front and slashed towards it. The big head spirit cooperated perfectly, shouting at the same time.
Explode!
The enormous power accumulated on the cloud-piercing sword all erupted at this moment. With a thunderous boom, the heaven-seeking seal was slashed flying. The great Tao realm powerhouse's physical body on the throne above it also flew out together with the heaven-seeking seal. After countless years, they seemed to have truly become one body, very difficult to separate. Lin Moyu saw through the undead eye that after this sword strike from Su Pu, the remnant soul belonging to the heaven-seeking seal that was originally staying in the great Tao realm physical body had retreated back. The remnant soul appeared on the heaven-seeking seal, turning into a gloomy-looking man, staring at Lin Moyu with a dark expression. This sword strike from Su Pu had turned its countless years of hard work into nothing. Although the great Tao realm physical body was still there, if it wanted to occupy it again, it would take countless more years. This sword strike finally freed it from its madness. It said in a low voice,
"Even if you're not in the Destiny Great Tao, you must die today. Destiny Light."
The heaven-seeking seal buzzed, and a terrifying light shot straight towards Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu was well prepared. When the heaven-seeking seal spoke, he had already started moving. When light appeared on the heaven-seeking seal, Lin Moyu had already changed positions. A beam of light brushed past him. All the skeleton generals touched by the light instantly disappeared. Their traces of existence were erased. With their imprints gone from the Destiny Great Tao, they naturally couldn't exist, let alone revive. Revive the dead once again lost its effect. The formations were still operating. In the blink of an eye, considerable power had accumulated on the cloud-piercing sword. Su Pu swung his sword up, once again killing his way to the heaven-seeking seal's front, slashing out a sword strike. At the same time, the heaven-seeking seal shot out a beam of destiny light towards Su Pu. The big head spirit cooperated very well, shouting all around,
"Explode!"
All the power accumulated on the cloud-piercing sword exploded, colliding with the destiny light. With a thunderous boom, the heaven-seeking seal was once again sent flying. The destiny light hadn't been able to erase Su Pu and the cloud-piercing sword. Although the destiny light was very strong, Su Pu was after all a 9th-level Tao Venerable being. Plus, with the cloud-piercing sword constantly accumulating power from the Grand Formation, the enormous power offset the destiny light. The Destiny Great Tao was very strong, but even it had limits. As long as the power was strong enough, it could resist the destiny light. Su Pu and the big head spirit cooperated seamlessly. After shattering the destiny light, they once again killed their way to the heaven-seeking seal's front, giving it no chance to catch its breath. The heaven-seeking seal's spirit roared repeatedly. Countless flames gushed from the sea of fire in heaven and earth, condensing into hundreds of fire dragons rushing towards Su Pu. At the same time, things similar to hell fiends rushed out from the sea of fire. Lin Moyu had a thought and lightly pointed his finger. Skeleton Hell appeared. Skeleton Hell instantly expanded to its maximum range, enveloping the entire sea of fire in heaven and earth within it. Lava gushed in Skeleton Hell, intercepting all the fire dragons. Hell fiends pounced out frantically. A battle belonging to Hell thus began. In the contest, Skeleton Hell quickly gained the upper hand, firmly suppressing the sea of fire in heaven and earth. A vast number of Hell fiends turned from defense to offense, beginning to devour the sea of fire in reverse. Lin Moyu's Skeleton Hell had fused several Hell fragments and had also fused with the Netherworld Blackpool. The sea of fire evolved from a single Hell fragment was no match for Skeleton Hell.
If the Hell fragment had evolved uninterrupted, devouring countless living beings and even devouring the origin spirit veins, that would have been a real big trouble. Now that it's been suppressed by the heaven-seeking seal for so many years, becoming a tool in the heaven-seeking seal's hands, it's not so terrifying anymore. Looking at it this way, the heaven-seeking seal also did some good things.
Lin Moyu thought to himself that after Skeleton Hell devoured this Hell fragment, its upper limit could be raised a bit more. The current Skeleton Hell was at the 9th level of Tao Venerable. It could at least be raised to the peak of the 9th level. As for the Great Tao Realm, Lin Moyu hadn't thought about it. He knew it wasn't possible. Skeleton Hell could surpass his own realm, but it was very difficult to cross major realm boundaries. His own realm would still hinder Skeleton Hell. If Skeleton Hell wanted to advance to the Great Tao Realm, it might have to wait until he himself advanced to the Great Tao realm. Now he could only continuously enhance Skeleton Hell's power within the Tao Venerable realm, truly reaching the peak of Tao Venerable realm, preparing for the future. Seeing Lin Moyu devouring the Hell fragment, the heaven-seeking seal anxiously cried out,
Stop immediately.
Without the Hell fragment, it would be impossible for it to complete its nest usurping and become a true living being. The heaven-seeking seal was truly anxious. Infinite light shot out from the great seal, instantly turning into a 1,000-meter large seal crashing towards Lin Moyu. The heaven-seeking seal's momentum was powerful. Even Supu could only temporarily avoid its edge. Lin Moyu vibrated his time-cursed wings. The time and space Great Daos completed their fusion, forming space-time power. With his wings vibrating, Lin Moyu avoided it as if teleporting. The Great Seal immediately crashed into empty space. But the heaven-seeking seal didn't get discouraged. Continued to chase and kill Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's form was unpredictable, changing erratically. The heaven-seeking seal couldn't touch Lin Moyu at all. Lin Moyu noticed that although it couldn't hit him, the light on the heaven-seeking seal was getting brighter and more dazzling. Suddenly, a loud warning sounded in his heart. His intuition sent a warning. Lin Moyu's expression changed. Without thinking, he put away Supu and brought the cloud-piercing sword to his hand. The formations accelerated their operation. Terrifying power immediately surged on the cloud-piercing sword. A ball of light exploded from the heaven-seeking seal. The heaven-seeking seal turned into a miniature version of the sun's origin. Lin Moyu saw the Destiny Great Tao descend with a boom, faintly visible above the heaven-seeking seal.
Die. Destiny Light Wheel.
The light turned into wheels, exploding with a boom. Countless light wheels danced in this space. Skeleton generals touched by the light wheels were instantly erased. Then the light wheels exploded, carrying the erasing power from the Destiny Great Tao, illuminating the entire space. Large numbers of hell fiends died in the light. Skeleton hell constantly shook and trembled. The sea of fire evolved from the hell fragment was also pressed to its limit by the light, almost extinguished.
Explode!
The big head spirit cried out crisply. Terrifying power erupted from the cloud-piercing sword, forming a circle that rapidly expanded outwards, protecting Lin Moyu within it. Chapter 3465. If it will drop in realm, then you should die even more. The light of the Destiny Great Tao carried terrifying erasing power, invading from all directions without gaps. The cloud-piercing sword, borrowing power from the formation, had already become extremely powerful, reaching the peak of the Tao Venerable realm, almost able to compete with the Pseudo-Great Tao realm. This level of power could block the Destiny Light, but it couldn't resist the Destiny Light Wheel. The light circle formed by the cloud-piercing sword was rapidly shrinking. Lin Moyu had a thought and simply put away the cloud-piercing sword, even retracting his undying golden body, to face the Destiny Light alone. The Destiny Light carried erasing power, illuminating Lin Moyu's entire body, but couldn't bring him even a bit of harm. Lin Moyu just bathed in the Destiny Light like this, looking as if he was enjoying sunbathing. He smiled and said,
It seems your Destiny Great Tao doesn't work on me.
Lin Moyu had just thought that since he wasn't within Destiny, the erasing power of the Destiny Great Tao should have no effect on him. Now that he had tried it, it was indeed so, completely harmless. The heaven-seeking seal was stunned on the spot.
How is this possible? How is this possible?
Its attack was to erase others within the Destiny Great Tao, but Lin Moyu wasn't within the Destiny Great Tao at all, so the attack naturally had no effect. Lin Moyu smiled.
Now it's my turn.
He flicked his finger, and the world-burning fire flew out, exploding in the air and turning into a sea of fire. By the time the heaven-seeking seal came to its senses, it had already been engulfed by the world-burning fire. The world-burning fire burned souls, and spirit was one of them. The next second, a sharp cry sounded from the heaven-seeking seal. The world-burning fire had already crawled onto the heaven-seeking seal, enveloping the entire heaven-seeking seal in flames. The spirit of the heaven-seeking seal struggled and rolled in the flames. It wanted to escape into the Great Tao realm physical body. But at this moment, powerful force suddenly erupted from the Great Tao realm physical body, refusing its entry. The spirit of the heaven-seeking seal cried out incessantly. It had no power to resist the world-burning fire, and the destiny light was ineffective against Lin Moyu. It could only cry out and beg for mercy.
Spare me. I'm willing to acknowledge you as my master. I'll do whatever you say.
Lin Moyu smiled and said,
He is your master, right?
The heaven-seeking seal cried out.
No, he's not my master. My master died in battle long ago. He's just my master's subordinate.
Lin Moyu made an
Oh.
sound.
It seems you also wanted to turn the tables and become the master. Too bad I don't like you.
Saying this, Lin Moyu snapped his fingers, and the world-burning fire burned even more fiercely. The spirit of the heaven-seeking seal screamed.
Don't kill me. I'm the spirit of the heaven-seeking seal. Only with me is the heaven-seeking seal a great Tao realm treasure. If I'm gone, the heaven-seeking seal will drop in realm.
Lin Moyu's eyes lit up.
Really?
The spirit of the heaven-seeking seal thought Lin Moyu was tempted and cried out urgently.
It's true. Without me, the heaven-seeking seal is just a Tao venerable realm treasure. I am the core of the heaven-seeking seal. It will drop from the great Tao realm.
Lin Moyu pondered.
That's really good. Then I have even more reason not to keep you.
The spirit of the heaven-seeking seal was completely dumbfounded. What did Lin Moyu mean? Giving up a great Tao realm treasure and instead wanting a Tao venerable realm one? He cried out unwillingly.
Have you gone mad? I'm the spirit of a great Tao realm treasure, and it's of the destiny great Tao. You actually don't want me? Are you insane?
Lin Moyu shook his head.
You wouldn't understand. Go in peace. I hope in your next life you can be a person.
The spirit of the heaven-seeking seal was finally burned to ashes, leaving nothing behind. Without the spirit, the aura of the heaven-seeking seal plummeted, its size shrinking to only as big as a palm. The throne that was tightly attached to the seal fell off as a result. Skeleton Hell had also reached its end at this moment. The Hell fragment had been devoured 7 or 8 tenths, and would soon be eaten clean. Lin Moyu reached out and took the heaven-seeking seal in his hand. After examining it, he found that it had indeed dropped to the 9th level of Tao Venerable. He smiled and looked at the great Tao realm powerhouse on the throne.
Elder, you should wake up now.
The great Tao realm powerhouse slowly opened his eyes.
How did you know I had awakened?
Lin Moyu smiled.
I naturally have ways to know. May I ask how to address Elder?
The great Tao realm powerhouse slowly stood up. The throne beneath him turned into a meditation mat, then shrank to palm size, which he put away. He bowed slightly to Lin Moyu.
This Tao Lord is named Lifeome. Thank you, young friend, for saving my life. May I ask how to address you?
Lin Moyu returned the bow.
Lin Moyu greets Tao Lord Lifeome.
Although Tao Lord Lifeome hadn't died, his soul was incomplete. He was already severely injured. It would be extremely difficult for him to recover. But at least he was alive. The characteristics of the great Tao realm still existed. He had enough time to find ways to recover. Tao Lord Lifeome looked at Lin Moyu, his eyes slightly strange.
This seat has one thing unclear and wishes to ask, young friend.
Lin Moyu said.
Please speak.
Tao Lord Lifeome asked.
Why didn't young friend want the spirit of the heaven-seeking seal? It's a great Tao realm destiny treasure, very rare.
Lin Moyu smiled.
It's due to this junior's personality. I look down on such spirits.
Tao Lord Lifeome still couldn't understand but didn't ask further. Since Lin Moyu had answered like this, that was the final answer. Asking more would be impolite. Lin Moyu also said at this moment.
This junior also has something to ask. What did Elder encounter back then? Why did you end up here?
At this moment, a hole opened in the sky, and streams of colorful light fell. The great Tao had sensed Tao Lord Liefeng's existence and came to receive him. Tao Lord Lifeng casually took out a jade tablet, pressed it to his brow for 2 seconds, then tossed the jade tablet to Lin Moyu.
What happened back then is all recorded in here. This Tao Lord must leave now. When young friend steps into the outer great Tao in the future, this Tao Lord will come to welcome you.
He left with the colorful light, departing from the origin continent. Except for a few special people, the current origin continent doesn't allow great Tao realm beings to appear. Tao Lord Lifeng, with his severely injured body, didn't want to resist the great Tao's reception, so he left quickly. Lin Moyu held the jade tablet, which emitted an ancient aura. Just the jade tablet itself was an excellent 7th level Tao venerable material. This kind of jade didn't exist in the origin continent and must have come from the great Tao. Lin Moyu wasn't in a hurry to look at the information in the jade tablet. Instead, he summoned the Destiny Lich and held up the heaven-seeking seal.
How about it?
The Destiny Lich flew around the heaven-seeking seal twice, then lay on top of it, transmitting joyful thoughts.
Can eat.
When Lin Moyu heard that the heaven-seeking seal would drop in realm after losing its spirit, he was delighted. He had already decided to let the Destiny Lich eat the heaven-seeking seal. That way, it surely couldn't be used by others. Compared to keeping an untrustworthy thing by his side, the Destiny Lich was much better. Between unreliable and reassuring, Lin Moyu chose reassuring. The Destiny Lich enveloped the heaven-seeking seal and began to devour it. The whole process would take some time. Only then did Lin Moyu begin to examine the information in the jade tablet. Tao Lord Lifeng had recorded a large amount of information in the jade tablet, including his background, why he came here, how to control Rift Wind Cliff, and so on. As Lin Moyu looked at this information, it was as if he was seeing a magnificent epic battle. Chapter 3466. The Three Ancestors Calculations. Rift Wind Cliff was not originally part of the origin continent. Initially, it was in the Outer Realm, an undeniable Great Tao Realm war fortress called the Tao Protection Fortress. There were many Tao Protection Fortresses, over 100, scattered throughout the void between the origin continent and the Outer Great Tao. Usually invisible, existing in different spatial dimensions, they would only appear when needed. This Tao Protection Fortress was numbered 68. Lin Moyu finally understood that the
68.
carved outside the caves was the fortress's number. Later, during the origin catastrophe, its original controller, the original owner of the heaven-seeking seal Destiny Tao Lord, died in battle at that time. Tao Lord Lifeng was originally a subordinate of Destiny Tao Lord. He took over in the crisis, replacing Destiny Tao Lord's position to control the number 68 Tao Protection Fortress. Later, this Tao Protection Fortress was severely damaged, almost destroyed in battle, and Tao Lord Lifeng was also seriously injured, falling into a coma. Before falling asleep, he hid the Tao Protection Fortress in the void, entering another layer of space. Unexpectedly, during the Great Battle, space was shattered, and this Tao Protection Fortress fell from the sky, crashing into the southern continent, creating a huge rift in the ground. The formation in the Tao Protection Fortress malfunctioned, creating terrible winds that blew constantly, eventually forming Rift Wind Cliff. At that time, because the Destiny Great Tao was destroyed, and Destiny Tao Lord cultivated the Destiny Great Tao, his power was greatly reduced. After he died in battle, the heaven-seeking seal lost its master. Countless years later, the spirit of the heaven-seeking seal awakened and developed other ideas. The spirit wanted to usurp the nest and become a true living being. For this, the heaven-seeking seal made many preparations. It also discovered a hell fragment in the Tao Protection Fortress and used the power from the hell fragment to help achieve its goal. Coincidentally, Tao Lord Lifeng also awakened not long after, and thus began a struggle for the physical body. The spirit of the heaven-seeking seal was very strong, but Tao Lord Lifeng was severely injured and could only rely on his home field advantage to deal with it. Unable to defeat Tao Lord Lifeng immediately, the heaven-seeking seal thought of other methods. It attracted the Wu family to come in, gave them benefits, and had the Wu family provide origin crystals for it. In the Tao Protection Fortress, there were many treasures left behind by various powerful beings. Among them were also inheritances left by powerful beings, all of which were utilized by the heaven-seeking seal. The spirit of the heaven-seeking seal also left marks on many people, like avatars, having them understand the outside world while also searching for various things that could help it. It must be said that the spirit of the heaven-seeking seal was very clever, thinking of all sorts of methods, all to deal with Tao Lord Lifeng. Tao Lord Lifeng didn't sit idly by either. He found ways to use the formations in the fortress to create wind spirits, preventing the Wu family from entering. But his power was too weak, and the spirit of the heaven-seeking seal still found ways to counter. The so-called protective jade pendants of the Wu family were actually the passage tokens from the Tao Protection Fortress back then. They fought for many years, and until Lin Moyu arrived, they hadn't reached a conclusion. During these years, Tao Lord Lifeng had been secretly using the formations in the fortress to recover and was much better than before. Taking advantage of Lin Moyu's arrival, he finally regained some initiative, refusing when the spirit of the heaven-seeking seal wanted to hide inside him. The whole matter was basically like this, though there might be some discrepancies, but not too many. The main focus was on the great battle recorded inside, where countless great Tao realm beings engaged in fierce battles with enemies, destroying one Tao protection fortress after another, with countless great Tao realm beings perishing. The Tao protection fortresses were the last line of defense above the origin continent. In the outer great Tao, there were countless such war fortresses. This great battle indeed severely injured the origin continent. However, Lin Moyu also saw that the outer great Tao attached great importance to the origin continent. The root of this world was still the origin continent. Without the origin continent, the outer great Tao would find it difficult to exist independently. As long as the origin continent still existed, even if the great Tao was destroyed, except for a few special cases, it could recover one day. The Destiny Great Tao was like this. After being destroyed, it recovered again after countless years. So those great Tao realm beings protected the origin continent with their lives. The last thing recorded in the Jade Tablet was how to control the Tao Protection Fortress. However, now the formations in the Tao Protection Fortress were mostly damaged and temporarily couldn't be used. Repairing it wouldn't be easy. Lin Moyu thoroughly understood the control methods in the Jade Tablet.
Although it can't be restored for now, the formations inside can be used by me. Rift Wind Cliff is the Tao Protection Fortress. If I shut down the Tao Protection Fortress, then the Wu family's foundation will be cut off. But what exactly did the three ancestors want me to do?
With a light sound, skeleton hell completed its devouring, and countless hell fiends howled to the sky, endlessly excited. Lin Moyu sensed that the aura of the hell fiends had reached the peak of the 8th level of Tao Venerable, just one step away from the 9th level of Tao Venerable. With a bit more to eat, it would probably become 9th level Tao Venerable. The upper limit of skeleton hell itself seemed to have increased a bit more. Currently, it was still at the 9th level of Tao Venerable, as Lin Moyu had thought, unable to break through further. As more and more hell fragments were devoured, marginal effects began to appear, with the effects gradually weakening. Lin Moyu put away skeleton hell and looked at the Destiny Lich. It was still continuing to fuse and needed a bit more time. Lin Moyu began to draw divine runes. Soon they flew into the sky. A divine rune formation instantly appeared in the sky. The formation was severely incomplete, damaged everywhere. It was like a leaky net, very difficult to repair. The formation of the Tao Protection Fortress was no less than the formation of Nine Heavens Peak. Lin Moyu currently didn't have the ability to repair it. Lin Moyu's consciousness sank into the formation. He looked from within the formation. Although he couldn't repair it, it didn't prevent him from learning about the formation. The way of divine runes was profound and mysterious. He was still just a beginner now with much more to learn. In the process of learning, Lin Moyu would also occasionally draw some divine runes, patching up some small damages. Gradually, Lin Moyu became more and more familiar with the Grand Formation, and his understanding of divine runes was constantly deepening. He had no teacher to teach him, and the only material was given by Gu Hanyu. How well he could learn ultimately depended on himself. In the process of patching and learning, Lin Moyu finally discovered some clues. He knew where the wind opening the three ancestors wanted him to find was. The location of the wind opening was exactly at the center point of the Grand Formation. Combined with the information given by Tao Lord Lifeng, that was the core of the formation. It was because of problems with the core that the entire formation became chaotic, and the Tao Protection Fortress could no longer be used. Lin Moyu guessed what the three ancestors wanted to do.
The three ancestors must have known long ago that Rift Wind Cliff was the Tao Protection Fortress. He even knew what happened inside the Tao Protection Fortress. He actually wanted to obtain the Tao Protection Fortress. The three ancestors' calculations are really good. You want the Tao Protection Fortress to gain an advantage in the great changes of heaven and earth? As expected of the most astute businessman, this deal is brilliantly done.
Chapter 3467. Big and Small Foxes, each with their own plans. The three ancestors were very trustworthy. He used the Hell Fragment as a price to have Lin Moyu do this task. He was certain that even if Lin Moyu knew their purpose, Lin Moyu would keep his word just like them. He would definitely do what he promised. Just as Lin Moyu understood the three ancestors also understood Lin Moyu. That's why Lin Moyu said the three ancestors were the most astute businessmen, truly understanding how to utilize human nature. An hour later, the Destiny Lich completed its absorption. The heaven-seeking seal disappeared, and the Destiny Lich was covered in a layer of golden light. The Destiny Lich became stronger, and Lin Moyu simultaneously received information transmitted from the Destiny Lich. Destiny Lich. Realm. Pseudo-Great Tao Realm. Grade. Perfect. Growth limit. None. Techniques. Destiny Guidance. Destiny Deprivation. Destiny Secrets. Destiny Guidance. Lock onto the enemy. Search for the enemy's weaknesses within the Destiny Great Tao. Provide guidance for other liches. Attack targeting the weaknesses. Destiny Deprivation. Using the power of the Destiny Great Tao, temporarily deprive the enemy of their traces of existence. Enemies deprived of destiny will be rejected by the Great Tao. Works well on enemies of lower realm than oneself. Average effect on same realm. No effect on enemies of higher realm. Destiny Secrets. Search for opportunities through the Destiny Great Tao. Can be activated once every 10 days. The future is constantly changing. Opportunities might also be misfortunes. The Destiny Lich's realm directly entered the Pseudo-Great Tao realm, skipping the 9th level of Tao Venerable. This point surprised Lin Moyu a bit. The heaven-seeking seal was once a great Tao realm treasure, made of superior materials. Although it dropped to the 9th level of Tao Venerable after losing its spirit, it was still extremely powerful. After the Destiny Lich devoured it, skipping the 9th level of Tao Venerable and becoming a pseudo-great Tao realm being in one go wasn't impossible. Among the techniques, Destiny Guidance and Destiny Deprivation hadn't changed much, but due to the Lich's own realm increase, the usable range of Destiny Deprivation became wider. A new technique, Destiny Secrets, was added. This was exactly what Lin Moyu wanted, able to search for opportunities. Wu Xingguang had used this ability given by the heaven-seeking seal to find 3 people who could help him. Unfortunately, he encountered Lin Moyu all 3 times. Just as Destiny Secrets said, opportunities could also be misfortunes, and so Wu Xingguang lost his life. Now that the Destiny Lich had inherited this ability, Lin Moyu smiled to himself.
From now on, you're going to become a fortune teller.
Lin Moyu had a thought and had the Destiny Lich use Destiny Secrets on himself. He also wanted to see where his opportunities lay. Golden light shone brilliantly from the Destiny Lich, then enveloped Lin Moyu, giving him a warm feeling. Soon, the golden light disappeared, and Lin Moyu didn't feel where his future opportunities were. The Destiny Lich transmitted a simple message. Failed. Lin Moyu was stunned, then realized the reason.
It seems because I'm not within the Destiny Great Tao, so Destiny Guidance doesn't work on me.
Lin Moyu wasn't discouraged. Although it was ineffective on himself, this technique would definitely be useful if used on others.
Maybe I should set up a stall and become a professional fortune teller.
Lin Moyu joked to himself. Destiny Secrets had already been used, and the next use would have to wait until 10 days later. In Lin Moyu's eyes, the Destiny Lich was already the strongest support, able to assist in battle and in treasure hunting. It was indeed a good thing. The only pity was that the Destiny Lich didn't inherit the Destiny Light of the Heaven-Seeking Seal. Otherwise, it would also have self-protection ability.
Never mind, nothing can be too perfect. Excessive perfection will inevitably suffer backlash.
Lin Moyu understood this principle. Even the Great Tao had to leave some leeway, so he couldn't demand too much. He put away the Destiny Lich and headed towards the location of the wind opening along the route he had obtained when examining the formation earlier. After flying for a while, he saw a tornado storm shooting straight into the sky from afar. This wind was the true source of the entire Rift Wind Cliff. The year-round fierce winds in Rift Wind Cliff came from here. Now he was like entering the eye of the storm. There wasn't even a bit of wind around, instead extremely calm. Lin Moyu looked at the bottom of the wind opening and saw something.
Great Tao Fragment.
He muttered, recognizing at a glance that this thing was a Great Tao fragment, belonging to the Wind Great Tao. The Wind Great Tao hadn't collapsed. Instead, a powerful being had used their own methods to obtain fragments of the Wind Great Tao to set up formations. Using Great Tao fragments as formation eyes could make the power of the formation endless. The Great Tao fragment itself could continuously attract power from the outside. As long as nothing went wrong, it would almost never be exhausted. If the fortress hadn't been damaged and the formation hadn't been broken, the Great Tao fragment wouldn't have been exposed.
Looking at it this way, the Tao protection fortresses might all use Great Tao fragments as formation eyes. With so many Tao protection fortresses, their attributes should also be different. Different Great Taos could complement each other, further enhancing their power. Utilizing various powers to the extreme, truly impressive.
Lin Moyu admired those Great Tao realm powerhouses in his heart. The Great Tao realm's use of power was indeed more powerful than the Tao Venerable realm, directly targeting the essence. He took out the small house given by the three ancestor and threw it into the wind opening. The small house entered the wind opening but wasn't swept up. Instead, it emitted dazzling light, steadily staying within the wind opening. No matter how the fierce wind blew, the small house remained unmoved. After a few seconds, the small house began to grow. The originally palm-sized small house became a small house about 4 or 5 meters in diameter, looking no different from a real house. The door opened, and a figure walked out from inside.
Three ancestor.
Lin Moyu was slightly startled, not expecting that there was an avatar of the three ancestor inside the small house. The three ancestor avatar didn't speak. He held a treasure in his hand. The treasure emitted a faint light, and a tentacle extended from the treasure, like a rope, firmly binding to the Great Tao fragment. At this moment, the three ancestor avatar and the Great Tao fragment seemed to become one. All the fierce winds would detour when passing the small house. Lin Moyu knew that the three ancestor had initially gained control of the Tao Protection Fortress. However, to fully control the Tao Protection Fortress, he was far from enough. Just the 360 formation nodes providing power to the Tao Protection Fortress were still in his hands. Now the Tao Protection Fortress was cut into 2 parts. The damaged formation in the core area belonged to the three ancestor, while the formation nodes providing power to the core area slightly outside belonged to Lin Moyu. If Lin Moyu was ruthless and cut off the power supply, it would become impossible for the three ancestor to fully control the Tao Protection Fortress. But Lin Moyu wouldn't do that. On the contrary, he would cooperate with the three ancestor to a certain extent in controlling it. He also wouldn't let the three ancestor know that the 360 formation nodes in the outer area had already been changed by him. After waiting for a while, the three ancestor finally spoke.
Young friend Lin, we've completed another deal.
Lin Moyu chuckled.
What you want is this Great Tao fragment.
He clearly knew the three ancestor intentions but didn't point it out. The three ancestor chuckled.
More or less. Besides this, there are some other things. Did young friend Lin obtain the Hell fragment? Did that heaven-seeking seal also become young friend Lin's possession? He really knows everything. What an old fox.
Lin Moyu cursed inwardly.